take you along the refit of Freebirds, an 18 60. She partially sank in Japan during COVID and grounded on a beach. This year the owner decided to bring her back to life. During several months she was prepared to sail to Thailand. We put an external plywood patch over the damaged area, built a temporary rudder, put a new engine in and a lot more. We then sailed her over 4,000 nautical miles, mostly against wind, to start her major refit. Alright, another Friday. I would like to take you along what happened this week. It looks super rough from here. Not only the boat but also the workshop. Filling and fairing went on, not too much this week, but what you can see here is the black paint that is just used as a help to get the different depth of the sanding progress. So that's a big help, and it is smoother than ever, even though it looks super rough. Then these are the two pillars, small difference, that are now shaped and have a filler layer on it just for the carbon that we put on, so the foam doesn't absorb too much of the epoxy. I used a jig to get the curve from the outside, but all the other curves that are basically shaped by hand. It's fairly easy with the foam. And they're not going to be laminated down here, but we're just going to put them with the cabin top in place and then run the carbon from the cabin top over these pillars onto the deck, so that we can do this all in one layup, and it will be super strong. We don't have to do any joints. So I think that's the easiest way here. Maybe you have other ideas. It's maybe too late. Maybe not. This is the back part of the cabin top, so that will be sitting over the cockpit, and this has now many layers of primer on already. That's wet sanded, and the plan is to spray another coat of primer on here just to get a super smooth finish, and then put it back on the boat and only have the finished top coat done basically when we paint the entire boat. So that came out quite nice and was also quick thing. Now let's move on to the deck, where we started a new project. It's going to be this area here, same on the other side, where a lot of load come together. So there's these blocks, there are the cleats, the clutches, and there are also these blocks for the runners. So a lot of pressure. There's the pillar here that sits on it, and this whole deck is a bit of a patchwork of different cores and different materials. So we decided to rip it all out and rebuild it, and it's going to be much stronger afterwards. I can show you what was the situation, or is the situation. So most of the core, there are some exceptions, but most of the core is the sandwich with a tiny bit of fiberglass, plywood, balsa plywood, and a bit of fiberglass, and then the filler on top. And there you can still see the holes where all these loads were on, and you can see how the wood turns darker and darker here. So that was, instead of balsa, was plywood. Gives a bit more density, but it was just completely rotten. And same out there. So we're going to replace the whole thing with foam, probably with H80 foam, or if we're lucky we can get 200 foam for the whole area. If not, we're going to use the 200 that we have, the small amount that we have, just for the high load areas. And yeah, that should give plenty of strength for the compression. And we're going to change the whole layup then also with carbon fiber. So there's going to be a lot of carbon fiber running, and as it is now, this tiny skin of fiberglass and a bit of plywood on it, this is basically going to give us the mold to lay down the first layer of carbon fiber. So we can lay this carbon out, let it dry, and then actually remove this whole thing, and then from underneath laminate it onto the hull itself, so that it is actually structurally bonded to something, not just sitting around. I was thinking a lot how this could be done smoother in one go, but I don't really see a way to do. Here in the back we're gonna do it a bit different. So because we have this bulkhead and this deck step also here, that's not really a bulkhead, doesn't go through. They will be on the same level, cut to the same level, and we can actually put the foam just over it. It will get a perfect shape, and then we can start the layup from the top and then do the bottom glassing from the inside. I'm curious whether you have other ideas how to proceed here. There are going to be 5 layers of carbon in total, or even more actually, if I remember right, and on the bottom and on the top then. So that's going to be extra strong, whether we have the core everywhere, the 200, or just underneath the clutches, all the high load areas. All right, so the big cabin top part also received primer. It's happened today, so there will be needed more fairing. Like now it's visible, especially like in these areas here where this triangle meets the or this whole carbon bar that has extra foam, where it meets with the rest. So yeah, it's now much nicer to see. Not sure if I put it on the camera as well. And then we start thinking about how this is all going down here. So the new window will sit somewhere here. This is a fake structure at the moment, that's just a template. So that's the structural bulkhead here. So we have this and the floor, and the new structure will look a bit like a bench. So it will have like a knee coming up, and then doing an arch here, and then a second arch to put the bench on it. And we can then also play with these angles to have actually the angle of the lean already, of the backrest already integrated. And all this back room will still be accessible, because we will, that's a rough mock-up here, how that will look like with that arch that I said and that angle. Alright, so that's actually what I tried to explain. So this is how it's gonna look like in the end. Ignore that part with the bench and the lean. So that will be integrated straight in here with panels that you can all remove. Obviously the deck that will be fixed and fitted. And we will have this, we'll need maybe 2 or 3 in between on each side. In the middle there will be a big pillar. And this will give us nice access to put like a fake wall in here, so we can put stuff, electronics and cables and whatever, to put that on, and it will be quite easy to build. So I think that was quite a smooth solution for that part, but again, maybe you have different ones. And now let's check what happens in here. Maybe grab a little light somewhere. Yes. So here in the back cabin currently, looks like we're mining for something. That's just how we supported it from underneath. And now into the front locker. Alright, I changed a bit for more light. I think you can get the idea how it is. So that's the subfloor. This is going to be the last bulkhead to be installed here for the front locker part. I think it's not easy to move around in here so far. And it's just a dry fitted floor, how it will look underneath. So each little subfloor bulkhead got a little extra strip, just like here on the side, on it, so we have more area to glue the floor to. Yeah, all in all, that came out nice. Looks obviously very rough at the moment, but it will be a nice locker one day again. All right, up while I make some yoga here. I wish you all the best for the upcoming week. And as always, as always, take care.